Civility, Sevillity. Chapter 31 of My Half Orange, a story of love in language in Seville. Every morning in front of our building, at least one brand new original work of canine art was lying in wait to catch my wedges, those are my sons, and me off guard. When the wedges were tiny, we would never leave the apartment without a plentiful supply of wet wipes, as much for accidents involving our shoe bottoms and the stroller wheels as for those involving my wedges' rear ends. My friend Gabriel and his wife Kelly, who lived in a much cleaner part of Seville, were nonetheless so impressed by the exhibition of canine creations that once back home they would point to the New York variety and exclaim, "Look, it's a Seville." To grate on boosterish civilians, I sometimes joke that the tourist office should print a postcard of its most ubiquitous and stalwart monument with the slogan, "Pisa Sevilla," step foot in Seville. Yet, a lesson festered beneath this filth. One morning, in the park, while pushing the wedges on the swings, I saw a guy looking the other way while his dog squatted in the center of the walking path. The dog finished his business and began sniffing around as the owner ignored the output, bending down to pick up something else. In Seville, civic-mindedness is equivalent to meddling in government affairs. Pick a piece of litter up from the ground and people peg you as some kind of anal apparatchik. Even so, the man stood peering over his shoulder as if scanning the scene for witnesses. Our eyes met, and I shook my head in disgust. Sometimes instant chemistry springs up between people, chemistry for conflict. As he stepped out smartly in my direction, still holding whatever he had picked up, I imagined his mind racing, preparing his opening sally against my giddy scorn. He was way wrong if he thought he could put me in my place on this one. Even before settling down in Madre de Dios, that's my neighborhood, I had been planning my defense of the public thoroughfare. Finally, with this hothead, this repeat offender, I would be able to lock horns and peel his bluster like one of those prickly pears that summer folk came into Seville to sell on street corners during the summer. Just think, I would tell him, 1 turd a day, every day, in this park for the entire length of your dog's life. As long as your dog runs free here, my kids can't because of what they'll bring home on the bottoms of their shoes. But when my adversary looked up from his headlong approach, he was beaming and extending his arms as if I were the priest and he the communicant. Behold, in his unfolded hands, a sparrow chick. "For your boys," he said, "so they can entertain themselves for a bit." He squatted down before the wedges, holding out the baby bird so they could touch it, then gave us a quick course on how to care for it. He went so far as to pick through the nearest garbage can for something we could carry the chick home in. He found a discarded Burger King bag, pulled out a still intact Whopper box, and filled it with grass, leaves, and twigs. When the chick was snugly installed in this makeshift nest, the man said, "Cuídalo bien, chicos." Take good care of it, boys, and then walked off. To me, that local character embodies what I will call civility. He might not move a muscle to spare you unpleasantness, but he'll go out of his way to give you a treat. A give and take of apathy and generosity. That's his MO. Another way of putting it might be that he's a dove of peace capable of showering guano on your head. Thanks to him, I went instantly from seeing myself as Dirty Harry to seeing him as St. Francis of Assisi. In general, that's how it is when casting judgments on civilians, or perhaps on anyone. Just when you think you have them sized up, something happens to make you completely reconsider your stance. In my adoptive city, where I've lived for 19 years, the curtain never drops and the show can be relentless. A man shamelessly beating his dog for stopping to sniff in a crosswalk. Half a dozen school kids facing off in a free-for-all orange fight in front of a pavement cafe while their parents sip cocktails inside, willfully unaware. a garishly dressed, strung-out streetwalker pumping euros into a bar's slot machine, trying to wind down after the nightly grind while she's surrounded by families eating churros after church. Yet the show has a flip side that's pure serendipity. Two tipsy gypsies, with their guitars and tobacco-ravaged voices, converting the back of a public bus into a makeshift tableau. A dozen nuns, heads bent, moving like a peloton of race walkers across Plaza de la Encarnacion. A street hawker, shouting as I pass with wedge 1, that's my firstborn, on my shoulders, clean trade, sewing machine for a green-eyed little boy. In short, just because people don't clean up after their dogs doesn't mean they're the shit of the city. They might even be its cream. A good way to define civility might be when people's virtues catch you so completely off guard that their defects seem insignificant. That's about the best thing I can say about anyone. My Half Orange, A Story of Love and Language in Seville, was published in 2023 by Tortoise Books. I'm about to launch the audio version, chapter by chapter, on Substack. You can listen to it there for free, or you can listen to the whole thing at once, about 6 hours of me reading my manuscript, okay, on any of the platforms that sell audiobooks. I hope you pick up the book, and I hope you enjoy it. A quick reminder, to support the cause, you can always like, comment, or follow, or there is always My Half Orange, A Story of Love and Language in Seville, published by Tortoise Books in 2023, about the 10 most transformative years of my life when I moved from New York City to Seville, Spain in 2005, met a local woman, and started a family with her without hardly speaking Spanish. I plan to soon upload an audio version to Substack, Rants from a Foreign Land, John Julius Reel. Follow me there to receive all my updates by email. Thanks, good people.